thank you so much for showing up for Brian today for his book launch. We are so excited to have all of you here, and we know that the network that Brian has that surrounds him is just amazing. It is such an amazing group of individuals who you show so much support and love and encouragement for him. We really appreciate you being here, taking time from your day to join us for this. So we are just doing a little bit of housekeeping and trying to arrange a few things, and we will be starting as soon as we are able to. We've got a couple of guests who, one gentleman is having a difficulty getting in, so and then our live stream on Facebook will be arranged momentarily as well. So we are going to get started as soon as we possibly can, so I am sorry for the delay on this, but we are dealing with technology and it never usually goes as smooth as you think it's going to go sometimes. I love how many of you have shown up. Thank you so much. And hello, Randall, you are Brian's brother, correct? Hi.
That's
how are you?
Sure.
It is nice to meet you. It is wonderful to have you with us. I'm so glad you could join us.
Yes, it's a very exciting time.
It is. It is. Okay, so hopefully we will be getting started very soon. Okay, I'm just going to mute you again, Randall. Is that all right?
Everything is on Facebook. We can't, the live is not going through for some reason. Sometimes this happens with Facebook. I am so sorry. But for some reason today, it is not going through successfully. I have just clicked and added the link again, so anyone on Facebook can go straight into Zoom. And Brian, I'm sharing this on your Facebook page as well right now.
Facebook is a different kind of animal sometimes. And the combination of the two together seems to have put it into a little bit of a difficulty today. But we've got the recording for Zoom. It is so unfortunate we're not going to be able to get this working correctly to Facebook. That would have been beautiful.
It would have been.
So people that were trying
but we are versatile. We're living in a versatile age, so we can do this. So please,
we pivot.
Judy.
We pivot. So I think we will get started with the celebration, this book launch. We've had a little bit of a glitch getting started, but thank you all for being so patient and for being here with us. I am Judith Richardson Schroeder, and my beautiful co-publishing co-founder, Debbie Belnavis Brimble. Together, we are so honored to have the opportunity to be able to celebrate Brian Keith South and the launch and the publication of his new book called Demystifying College Admission, Learn Key Strategies, and Develop the Right Mindset to Get into the College of Your Choice. I had the opportunity to be able to read through Brian's book, and I can tell you it was a really refreshing read, and I really enjoyed it, and I know that his book is going to do amazing things to help students to get to where they would like to go and be in the college of their choice. So thank you all for being here, and we will be keeping ourselves muted until it is our time to speak. And what we're going to be doing is sharing some of the messages that some of Brian's amazing friends have come together here to help us in celebrating Brian and his book launch today. So what I thought I would do now is just move forward and introduce Brian Keith Smith, the author of Demystifying College Admission. And Brian, I'd love to welcome you to the floor. Congratulations.
Thank you. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you today.
And I'm just going to say, Brian, apologies. Judy somehow wants to call you Smith today for some reason.
Did I?
So, yeah.
No, that's not, that may be okay because I'm a multifaceted
I thought I said
individual.
We've renamed you. We've renamed
I thought I said South. I'm sorry. I'm going on like only a little bit of sleep here, but oh, I'm so sorry, Brian.
So,
Oh, that's all right. You know, we have different sides to our personalities and our lives. So maybe she just tapped on maybe one of my better attributes.
So we would like to kick off to ask you, Brian, to just say welcome to your guests, because we're here to honor you and to celebrate you today and the launch of your book that is out today. Everyone can purchase a copy of your book. So please share your journey with us that you've been on. It has been such an amazing one.
Okay, well, to give you the short and skinny of it all, my authorship journey began several years ago when I was from time I was born in near Hollywood in the Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, and grew up in this very mystical land in Crescent City with trees as tall as skyscrapers and ferns the size of a full-grown person, iridescent meadows, and it stimulated my creativity and desire to create. And then I took many forks in many different directions, educationally and so forth. Had a very challenging childhood, and then I experienced a number of adventures and experiences of which people were telling me, you have to write a book. And so it was always in the forefront of my mind for several years that I have to write. But it was really frustrating because I love to communicate. Words flow easily to me, but I felt stuck and I didn't know what to do about that. And then on top of it all, I was experiencing a number of personal challenges, near bankruptcy, all kinds of other stuff. And then in this heat of desperation, I took a job as a mortuary salesperson. And that job turned out to be a total disaster. The person that recruited me said he didn't like the way I looked, didn't like the way he dressed, and most importantly of all, he didn't like the way I was failing to convince people, the bereaved, to purchase outrageously expensive funeral products. And so I hired a coach who told me, you need to write about these things, and so I wrote an article called Peddling Fear and had it published in Sacramento's News and Review, because she told me that there were no mistakes. There are no wrong turns. Everything that's happened to you is for a reason. And she published it in a book called How Not to Succeed and Make It. And so I figured, well, I must be on the right track because I'm failing miserably. But still, I wasn't producing what I wanted. One day, a few years later, I was tossing and turning in my bed, and the phone rang, and I looked at it, and it said, "Get motivated." And I looked at this, and I thought, well, what could this mean? So I installed this battery app that displayed advertisements, and it turned out that this Get Motivated was for a seminar hosted by Les Brown and several others. And there included was an author program. Eric Loftman, who is the mastermind of sales, is one of the authors who strolled across and promoted the benefits of writing a book and how you can leverage it. And at the time when I started, I said, well, I will take this 3-day challenge. It was a boot camp. And he said that you want to write about your business or something in which you can leverage your book. And at the time, I just started tutoring and working with several students. And I realized that I wanted to do more than just simply promote the business. I recognized that a lot of students I worked with had very special needs. They were dealing with self-esteem issues. They were in belief. And I realized that I needed to write about the mindset of how to succeed in college and academics, and combine everything that I've learned in many of my business seminars with what I've been implementing in my coaching and teaching. And so this book began. But then as I started to write the book, I was in flow. I was following all the directions. And then my apartment flooded. My phone got destroyed. But anyway, I managed to get around that dilemma. And I started working to resume where I left off with my writing. And then I was introduced to some publishing opportunities, and it seemed like I was on track and was believing that my manuscript would be published a couple of years ago, but that didn't happen. And instead, everything just came to a standstill. And to be really quite transparent, I felt gut kicked. I felt like I felt abandoned in that process, and I didn't know where to turn or what to do. But I was determined to just move on, and so I contacted a friend, and I was ecstatic to be connected with my current publisher right now, Carnelian Moon. They brought me back to life. They resuscitated Demystifying College Admission. And now here I am today with all of you in celebration of something that took more than 5 years to create. And here we are now.
And I just have to say, you know, Brian, your journey is what really attracted you to us. When we heard your story, we felt compelled to provide whatever support we could to get you to that finish line and get you to this day that we're in today. We are going to be sharing this video with everyone as soon as it completes, because we haven't been able to do the Zoom. So for those of you who haven't been able to connect with us today via Zoom, you will have the beauty of experiencing this event with us. So we have invited a number of your closest and dearest to share in this moment with you, this celebration with you. And I have the honor of introducing everyone to Ram Sharma, and just say welcome, Ram. Ram actually wrote the foreword for the book, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So I encourage everyone who hasn't bought a copy of the book yet to please have a read and support Brian. And Ram, over to you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to support everyone here and support Brian. My name is Ram Sharma. I'm currently in Sacramento, California. I first met Brian when I was in 7th grade. At the time, I was in dire need of assistance academically. And to be honest, I really hated school and anything to do with academia. My grades were really poor. And so my parents convinced me that tutoring was the best option for me. And that's where our relationship began. He was my tutor. And I remember our first day of tutoring, I was not excited for it at all. I wanted to play Xbox. And then here at my front door is this tall guy with a big smile. And that was Brian. He greeted me with such enthusiasm. And through the years after that, like after 7 to 8 years after, like my attitude towards school completely changed. My attitude towards academia changed, and even aspects of my life. I think the biggest thing that Brian has taught me is that the pursuit of knowledge is one of the most rewarding things that one can undergo in life. And, you know, Brian continues to mentor me today. He was there for me to guide me through undergraduate college and admissions. And he wrote me letter recommendations for internships that I thought I would never have achieved. He even took time I remember we met at Barnes & Noble one day, and he took 2 hours to discuss with me how to network with people at my internship, how to have coffees with people, and how to speak with these people. And so he's been there for with me through it all, and he's with me now as I continue my academia. I hope to go to law school, and he's helping me with that. But more than anything, Brian is a friend. He is someone that has supported me and believed in me during my highs and lows. He genuinely cares about every person he has worked with, and he will go the absolute lengths to help anyone succeed. And I can confidently say that Brian has played a huge role in any personal successes I have ever had. I have no doubt that Brian's book will reach the heart of every student and person reading it. He put his soul into this project. Ultimately, Brian's book is a must-read for any student seeking any guidance with college admissions. I really believe that this book is, the magnum opus of Brian's career of helping students succeed in their academic endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ram. Magnum opus. That is amazing. I love that term. It is amazing to listen to the stories that Brian's friends have to share. And Brian, it is no doubt that you have impacted and changed people's lives and touched people's lives in such amazing ways. So thank you, Ram, for sharing that. That was amazing, and it's an honor to have you here. So Brian, we would love now if you would share with us an excerpt from your book so that everyone can get an opportunity to hear some of your words that are in your book that all of us are raving about and talking about. So I'll open the mic to you if you'd like to go ahead.
Absolutely. This passage I'm about to read is the very opening of my book, titled "Desire is the Firepower of College Admission." While no one can deny that college is expensive and outrageously competitive, there is light at the end of the college admission tunnel. There's hope. There are resources to help you get into the college of your choice. They all start with desire. Be like fire. You cannot change the economy. You cannot wish away the competitive demands of admissions, but you can change. If you become like fire and single-mindedly pursue your college dreams, you will be unstoppable. While college can be a vehicle to achieve a lucrative career and a better quality of life, college is about personal development. Why wait until you spend thousands of dollars and countless hours of study? Why hope for the economy to improve and the admission requirements to soften? Achieve the best version of yourself now, today. Today, before you even apply. Jim Rohn says in The Art of Exceptional Living, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and I love the changes of the voices and everything. Absolutely great. Thank you so much, and I can see some claps for you around the room. So, Brian, there's so much more of that throughout your book, as we've read, and I am so inspired by the inspiration, the mindset that you've shared throughout the entire book. So thank you so much for that snippet of it. And now I would like to introduce and hand over to Lee Rosenblum. Lee is one of Brian's colleagues on the financial side of things. And Lee, please share a little bit about your experiences with Brian, how you know him, and where you're from also. Thank you.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. So my name is Lee Rosenblum. I'm in Sacramento as well. Brian and I met about 3 years ago or so, and we were in the similar business doing life insurance. And like everything else, it's a struggle. And by the way, one thing Brian has taught me, and I love him for it, he embraces the struggle. And that is just so important in life, what you're doing. And I admire you, and I'm jealous as heck because I'm writing a book too. I'm writing 2 actually. So maybe I'll come talk to you, Mrs. Publisher. In any event, and I said to him, Brian, let's have coffee. And so I sat with him and had coffee at the coffee shop on R Street or S Street. I can't remember where it was. Where is that place? It's right.
Are you referring to nothing other than the Temple Cafe?
Yep, the Temple Coffee.
Okay.
And so it's Brian and Nikki and myself, and we're talking. I said, Brian, what is your real passion? He said, I'm writing a book about college. And I said, that's amazing because you have a life insurance license, and there's such synergy between saving for college and using your license to create vehicles for people to make it really worthwhile and inexpensive and possible. He said, nobody ever really taught me all that stuff. So I began walking through what that really is involved over that first coffee. And then we had second coffee. And then we started talking a lot. And subsequent to that, we've had special training in the office about what this really means and how to use the two basically time frames for saving for college. Time frame one, and I just want to make sure I'm kept to 5 minutes. Time frame one would be for when children are, under age 3 or 4, because then you have time on your side. The second time frame is when your children are, say, in middle school or in freshman and high school. There's a whole other strategy for that. That can be you can fund college with either time frames. So Brian and I kept strategizing about this kind of stuff, and I followed Brian around to a couple of things he was speaking at. He spoke at Sac State about 9 months ago at a program, and I joined him and added a few words to what he had to say, and we edified each other and had a great conversation with the 1,000 people who were there. And we've just over the course of the last 3 years learned about how we use our ability to do the financial part. So then when it came time to writing the financial component of the book, he asked me numerous times to read it, reread it, add some things. I'm not sure what I was able to add. Maybe I did. I hope I did. But it sounded good. It sounded really good. I think it's very helpful. And that's how we've kind of learned together and grown together and figured out how his ability to write this book and our together ability to use life insurance to fund college have created synergies.
I love the unique relationships that each of you are bringing to the room. Thank you so much, Lee. It is such a pleasure to have you here and to listen a little bit about how you and Brian have connected and what you were doing together, etc. So we will be available if you want to bring your books to us. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So now it's my pleasure and my privilege to introduce to you a gentleman who really worked hard to get here today because the room was not paying attention to him, and we are so glad that you're here with us. So Randy Taylor, I'd love to hand the mic over to you now so that you can share a little bit with Brian and just let us know where you're from, a little bit about you, and how you know Brian and your relationship with him. Thank you.
I think he's frozen.
I think he's frozen as well. I was just going to say that. So, he's appearing somewhere else?
Well, he's very technical.
There he is. Yeah.
Randy, you got to introduce Randy. It's your turn.
Hi, Randy. It's over to you.
Thank you. I lost the connection altogether, so I'm going to talk a little faster.
It's okay.
Is it my turn now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Let me take my glasses off so I can hear better. Anyway, basically, I'm really fortunate to have met Brian. We've become friends, and a couple times he's inspired me. So basically what happened is same way I met Lee, who was good enough to send me the link to get on the call, by the way. Thank you, Lee. Same way I met him was through business networking. And I had no idea of the power of it, even though I had started it the first time like 37 years ago, but then I had a big break. And then I met people like Brian and was hoping to earn their loyalty by helping them. I connected him, I think I connected him with Alan Fadden, who's one of the most brilliant authors I've ever seen. He has ideas that nobody has. He wrote a book on how to solve the perfect crime, for example, with real examples, And what I like about Brian was that there's a lot of talk in networking about paying it forward, but Brian actually goes an extra mile. I got a chance to interview him about his journey I guess it was about a year ago, and basically about how he goes about tutoring his clients. And what I loved about it was that he didn't spend time just saying, okay, here's your problem, here's what you do. Instead, he talked to him, and I love one of my favorite phrases is prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And what Brian's always been good about is he sits down with his students and his friends, and he basically asks questions so that he can make the right recommendation. In fact, when I was talking to him recently, he said that in addition to finding out what college they may want to go to, he would find out their hobbies, their political feelings, etc., so that they might pick a college where they're comfortable in and they could actually enjoy the 4-year or 5-year experience instead of just going there to get a degree. And I think that's really important because, like Lee, I've been a salesperson my entire life, and I always felt the key to selling, which is really problem solving. And so you can't solve problems if you don't know what they are. So Brian is an expert at that. The other thing that I got from Brian is he's what we call in organizational development a advancer. So where I might have a strength in one area, one of my weaknesses would be I might get a creative idea. Like I've been studying on 2 books myself. I've got the content. I'm just afraid for some reason to put it together and organize it. So maybe I'll have to come to you too. But talking to Brian, he shared a story with me, which I think I'll make short.
We know he's there, and we know he'll be back in a second. I'm just plugging that gap. Brian, you have the most amazing network, and I cannot wait for this to be shared with everyone else who wanted to be a part of this on Facebook Live. So Randy is still frozen. Whilst he's frozen, I'm just going to throw something in here. So as soon as Randy comes back, I'll be quiet again. But whilst we're waiting for him, I'd just like to share. Okay, he's disappeared. He will be back. There he is. Yay!
I don't know if I lost that, but I ended it with congratulations. Did we get that much?
We didn't get that bit, but you can say that bit
enough.
again.
Okay, close enough. I basically said that I wouldn't hesitate for a minute having my grandkids tutor with Brian because both of them will be going to college and they're just about the right age to get started. But I just think his approach is exactly what a student needs. It's very selfless, and that's important. And the book will dictate that too.
Well, Randy.
So congratulations, Brian, and great to meet you and Lee both. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Randy. And I'll just put you on mute. Right, we really appreciate you taking the time out as well. I know you're in the car and it's not always easy to get these connections. So thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing with us. Okay, so I will now share a little bit about Brian's book because of course we are here for Brian's book. So the book is now available. Demystifying College Admission is now available for sale. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Barnes & Noble in the US, Chapters Indigo in Canada, Waterstones in the UK, and a number of other retailers online. Over the coming weeks, it will become more available in stores as well. But because today is launch day and we really cut it fine with this one, Brian had us working to the last minute, really. And we've got it out there and we're so pleased. So anyone who is here today or watching the replay, we encourage you to go out, share the link with anyone that you know who is at that stage. And we all know we're going through COVID right now. There are even those who are more mature students who may wish to embark on their journey of being a student. And there is such invaluable nuggets throughout this book for anyone. Brian's book basically covers every single aspect, everyone on this planet. I love that he includes, foster children, those with disabilities, and so much more. So please connect with Brian for his services and also go out and purchase his book. Now for today only, and we'll be sharing this on our Facebook page as well, we have a website that we've created for Brian's launch. So please share this out with your network too to support Brian. And the website is bit.ly/DCA launch. And that will take you to a website which allows you to request a signed copy of Brian's book. So you get to have a signed copy from the author. If you purchase the book on Amazon or anywhere else, you won't have a signed copy unless you find Brian and you take the book to him personally. So we'd like to encourage you to share the links when Brian shares them a little bit later after we get off this call. And is there anything else I wanted to share? No, so that is it for me sharing with you. Now, it is time for us to have another of Brian's mentees. So I would like to hand over to Praful Hiparagi. Hope I said that right, Praful.
Yeah, you got it right.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Praful. I am a student of Brian's, and I live in California as well. And just before I'd like to talk, I'd like to thank Brian and the entire publishing team for having me on, and of course, organizing this event. I just want to make sure your hard work doesn't get unnoticed. So thank you for that. So like Ram's story, my story with Brian began in 7th grade. I was, it was summer of transition to 7th grade, and we were doing English in a group session. And, I didn't want to be there, but immediately what I noticed about Brian is he was very focused, he was very determined, and he really wanted his students to get the knowledge instead of just like blanket statements. And that's something I really loved and appreciated about Brian. As the summer ended up winding down, the group sessions collapsed, but we still kept going one-on-one just because, I really enjoyed Brian's works. And I think one of my favorite moments in that summer session actually was we challenged Brian to memorize 100 digits of pi. And I think within the next day or so, he did memorize 100 digits of pi. Every single number was correct. So, not only is he focused, not only is he determined, but he's extremely hardworking, and he'll whatever he puts his mind to, he will 100% do it. And as I transitioned into high school, what he was my English teacher, now he became a multifaceted tutor himself, just from English to geography to whatever it could be. He was always there to help, regardless of whatever subject we were supposed to initially do. And now, speaking as a third-year college student, I definitely wish there was a book like Brian's, like Demystifying College Admissions, that I had just to get into college. Now, I know there are some people I know personally that are transitioning into the college realm or starting to think about colleges, and I will 100% be sharing and make sure they read Brian's book because it will help 100% of the time. Now, lastly, I want to say congratulations to Brian. He called me last week on a phone call. Even after all these years, he still keeps in contact with me, so it means a lot to me that he does that. He called me last week and said, hey, I published this book, and within a day it became the #1 bestseller on Amazon. And I don't think there were enough words in the English language to describe how happy I was for him that he achieved this. So that continuity of the same focus, determination, and anything he puts his mind to has proved to this day. And Brian, I'm super happy and proud of you that you achieved this, and whatever endeavors you pursue in the future, I am sure you will crush it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Pradal. Listening to each of you and everything that you share about Brian, it just lets us all know that it is so wonderful to have that connection with everyone, to be able to see how people are being touched by everything that you've done for them, Brian, because a lot of times we don't have that opportunity to know that we have even touched someone in a certain way, and to have everyone brought together to share that today is just so beautiful. I am just enjoying this so much, listening to how each of you are connected and the meaning that is between your friendships and your relationships. As I was reading Brian's book, I was really touched by the fact of how persistent he has been throughout his entire life, how he has moved forward, and no matter what the obstacle, no matter what has been in front of him, he's always seen a way to either maneuver around it, go over it, or go right through it. And the tenacity that he has and that he shares, and that the mindset that he gives to his students, he doesn't do anything that he doesn't expect others to do. He is a demonstrating individual who shares what he wants other people to know, and he gives them that motivation to say, you know, if I can do it, anyone can do it, and I know you can do it too. So the courage and the encouragement is just such a wonderful gift that you give to people, Brian. It's just amazing. So this is a wonderful opportunity for everyone to share and celebrate your accomplishment. And your book is fantastic. It is doing wonderfully, and you've had many sales. We're looking for many, many more. We want to make this a household name for a book. We know there's a lot of people out there who would benefit from it, because it's not just a book about college admission. It's a book about how to move through life with such mindset that you know that anything you want to achieve, you will be able to achieve it. You just have to have the right mindset to get there. So it's really incredible. And now we are running a really good amount of time, going very well. We were going to have another guest speaker at this point, but I don't.
I'm here.
Actually,
I'm here.
okay, so I'm looking at the wrong one then. I thought River was going to be next. Sorry, Lucy. Okay, Lucy, I am so excited and honored to introduce you as well, because you had a beautiful story that you shared with us yesterday. And so I shall give you the floor, and you can go ahead and share with us. Thank you.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited. I'm absolutely honored and grateful to have been, one of the ones that's chosen by Brian to, help with his launch and, kind of tell the world what an amazing person he is, and what a great friendship that he and Nikki has held with me. So long story short, Brian and Nikki, I met them in financial services, and, from that point on, our friendship just kind of bloomed, and, I started other businesses as well as real estate and all that good stuff. And, Brian's always told me about his book that he was writing, and that has been forever been waiting to be published. So I was just kind of, it's always that anticipation of always asking, hey, how's that book coming along? And, just to see how far he's gone and how he's always kept in touch, along these years, just keeping me posted with his, production and all that great stuff. It's just, it's so inspiring, and it's all about helping others, and especially with, with the world and how it's going on, what's going on right now, all the craziness, the COVID and the social distancing and everything, for someone like him to be able to come out and be able to have a product to be able to not only be able to be given by, him personally, but online, people that are unfortunate to be able to afford school and stuff, to be able to order this and implement it into their lives to further themselves. And, I'm just so absolutely grateful and proud of you, Brian. And you should really, really pat yourself on the back on, the great things that you have done and accomplished. And I'm very honored. So, with all of that, I'm blessed, and thank you so much for having me here today. It means a lot. So, thanks.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I guess Debbie had to step away for a moment. So thank you so much. This is, it is so nice to hear how you have spoken about Brian and the connection, even though it's been over a number of years, you've been able to still keep that. I think it's really beautiful, and it's a testament to both of you that you've been able to.
The most powerful thing of it all is like the phrase I mentioned, which is damn you if you knew something and of information or education or anything, you never shared it before you left this earth. And that's what Brian's doing, and that's the difference, which is helping people. And so that I absolutely admire, because I live by that as well. So.
I love that. That is a really great piece of advice to leave us with, Lucy. Thanks so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. Good job, Brian. Woo!
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm celebrating today's first football day, so I had to wear my 49er shirt.
Awesome. I love your shirt. I love it. Okay, Debbie, I'll let you go ahead now.
Thank you so much. So River hasn't been able to join us. So what we're going to do is head straight into Brian sharing another excerpt from his book. So Brian, over to you. Unmute, please.
Well, before I begin to read this passage, I felt it was essential to introduce a quote by Stephen Covey: "Begin with the end in mind." In other words, think about where you want to end up. And and in light of what's happening in the world with COVID and with these rapid sea changes that are, sending us every which way, I felt this second passage I took from the very end of my book, which actually addresses the future, which is happening today. And it begins as such: "We are living in amazing times because artificial intelligence is changing the way we study, apply for college, and select our career. Do you feel amazed that your computer can magically make suggestions based on purchases you made, movies you've watched, and places you visited? Soon, AI will make suggestions about how to find funding sources for colleges, what courses to take, and how to shine as a college applicant. Understanding a few basics of AI will enable you to make the most of your journey in college in this brave, new technological revolution. The college graduate of the future should explore careers in which they feel a passion for expressing their creativity and how they will contribute to humanity." Josie Periasamy, an MIT tutor and teacher at Harvard, an expert on artificial intelligence, says that artificial intelligence will never fully replace humans because people will need communities, family dynamics, and will need to manage large companies and work well with other people.
Thank you so much, Brian. I love the passages that you've chosen. They are something that really lets people see the depth, and I love the voice that you give them, the character voice. It makes it that much more enjoyable to hear you read it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I just want to remind everyone again that Brian's book is available in a number of areas. We do also have a very special and very limited launch offer going on today for Brian's launch of his book. And it can be found at bit.ly/DCA launch. And this is an opportunity for anyone who would like to purchase his book today and actually have it autographed by Brian. We are arranging to have the opportunity for you to share whether or not you want your sentiments written in the book and signed by Brian, or if you would like Brian to write his own sentiments to you. And we've seen how Brian writes, and we know that the sentiment he would give to you would be very amazing. So you can go to that page for that, and as well you can purchase the book from Barnes & Noble in the USA, Chapters Indigo in Canada, Waterstones in the UK, bookshop.org. It is going to give you the opportunity to search for a store or an online retailer anywhere near you in the United States. And you can find Brian's book available there as well to purchase online or through a brick and mortar store. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to just mention is Brian's website. If anyone is interested in speaking with Brian about his mentorship and about his book, or further about the information that he provides, he is available at Mighty Mentors for You, and that is the number 4 and the letter U, and that's mightymentorforyou.com. And you can reach out to him there anytime at all. And Debbie?
Okay, thank you so much for that, Brian, again, and Judith. So we are now in that time where we're handing over to all of you and to Brian. So does anyone have any questions so far for Brian about the book or anything else related to his work? Now, this would have been larger, but we didn't get our Facebook connection to work today with Zoom for some reason. This is what happens when you're playing with technology. It worked perfectly this morning, but it's not working perfectly right now. So any questions from anyone? Or Brian, would you like to share any sentiments right now?
Well, would this be the appropriate time as far as sentiment to read the final word of my book? Would this be the right place to do that?
I think we can make that work. Go ahead.
Okay, well, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Final word. Throughout demystifying college admission, my goal is to provide you with the resources and the mindset to make college happen. Regardless of your background, you can succeed in college and beyond. Developing your mission and vision of college admission, setting goals, planning, and taking action are the keys to unlocking the doors of the seemingly daunting process of college admission. Keep in mind that success in college and life is mostly a mindset. Know who you are, embrace the technological changes of college admission, and realize, regardless of setbacks, costs of college, you have a choice. Good luck.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Beautiful.
Okay, so what I'd like to do right now is actually, I'd like to share a message from Nikki. But first of all, I just want to recheck in with everyone. If there are any questions that anyone would like to ask Brian, or if there is anything they would like to share, if you're a guest here as well and you weren't speaking, please feel free to open your mic. If there's something that you'd like to share with Brian or that you want to say to him in celebration of his day. So we can open the floor to everyone now if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Hi.
Hi, Edwin.
My name is Edwin Edebury, and I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and the Happy Neighborhood Project. To say that I am very happy for Brian today would definitely not be playing with words, and there will be pun intended, okay? You know. And because I can say I was there from the very beginning, and I also have a very, very good idea of what Brian had to go through for this to happen. And I was chatting with Brian and Nikki just a few days ago, and they actually had to make miracle happen for this book to happen. So I am very, very, very proud of Brian. I did mentor him for a little bit, but I can't take any credit for what has happened because he has definitely persisted and he had a clear idea. So the thing that I would say is that anybody that get a chance to put their hands on this book, not only that you should read the book. I know there's a tendency to say, oh, I'm already out of college, I don't need this anymore. But what I can tell you is you have a lot of people in your life that you can bless this book to. You can bless them with this book. And when you give this as a gift, you will be given a gift of life. Because if you make one family's life a little bit easier, and that their kid can go through the experience a little bit easier, you have touched on something that have a potential to be huge. So I have an idea of the content of the book, but more than that, I know where Brian's heart is at. Okay, and when it's all said and done, that's what inspires people. It's not the technicality, it's not the words, it's not anything, but when a student knows that the person guiding them have the heart for what they are doing, then they are inspired to take the necessary action and go through whatever it takes to make it happen. So, Brian, I just want to say congratulations to you. I don't see Nikki here, but I want to say congratulations to her too, because I know both of you, there was not a single time Brian came to my office that Nikki was not there. So I know they both took this path together. So I am so excited for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I just make a special request and say, Nikki, you have been mentioned. I think we should see your face today.
Here,
You to make a special.
We'll trade places because it's a room.
Okay.
Oh, we'll just turn it. Okay.
Turn. I'm here.
Just to say hi to you as well and to acknowledge you.
I'm here. I'm kind of you technical in the back. Helping Brian out.
Lovely to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Edwin. Wow. The powerful words, and yes, the happiness that is exuding from you relating to Brian's launch is quite powerful. So thank you. And to everyone else who has shared in this moment. Now, Judy, I am going to hand over to you to read Nikki's words. Is there anyone else who would like to share anything with Brian before I move on?
No, I just want to say quickly, please, if you're going to be taking a picture, I would like to suggest that Brian's name be changed from Windows 7 to his name, because this might be a picture that will be kept for a long time. So please, I want it to at least reflect his name, Brian,
that's over to you.
Okay.
Your Windows 7 at the bottom.
Yeah, you need to change that to your name.
Oh, I don't know. How would I change that? How does that work? Or
who is the host?
Alan, we will be with you in 1 moment.
Okay.
And who is the host of the event? Who has the host power? Otherwise, I can help if you transfer me as a host for a second. Okay. I can help to change the name.
Doing that.
Okay, go ahead. Sure.
No. You have to change the host. If you go to the participant, right now, Chameleon Moon Publishing is the host.
So what do I do?
Either Chameleon can change it.
It's changed.
Okay, Brian is correct.
Oh, wow.
You are good. Okay.
I
Thank you so much for pointing that out, Edwin.
That looks so much better. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. Alan, I saw that you had your hand up first. Would you like to go ahead? And then
Thank you. I've always known Brian as Windows 7, so this is a big moment for me. One thing I'd like to say about the book is this is not just a book, it's a lot of books. And the reason is the dramatic difference here really isn't, as to piggyback on what you were saying, Edwin, which I loved. It's not just about the details. That the real is the way Brian approaches things and the principles. When you look at his work on a principle level, it becomes inspiring because whether it's applied to college, It's applied to any other thing, a career, anything you want in your life. This man brings chutzpah and inventiveness into getting things done that very few people even can dream of. So I think the book is also worth reading by people who have no interest at all in college, but just to extract out of it just some of his viewpoints and then follow him around for a while, and good things will happen. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alan. And Holly, did I see your hand?
Okay, I just gave a thumbs up, and I think, I'm not even sure, just when I think Brian's name popped up, or I'm not sure.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't mind talking for just a second. I'll be really fast.
Okay.
I am so happy, Brian. He knows that I'm just right behind him, supporting him, and I couldn't be happier. I met Brian through an online agency where we help people with their life issues, and it was the perfect forum for him to ask questions. And like we said, everything that we do in life, failures included, bring us to one point, and that point is right now. And by the way, I'm from Nipomo, California. It's on the Central Coast. And yes, so that's all. I'm just thrilled to be here and thrilled to stand with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. So does anyone else have anything to share with Brian right now? I can see Lucy just made herself available.
You know, I just wanted to touch on, Brian, the type of person that you are, and uniquely. And I really, really do appreciate people like you guys coming into my life, because you guys have exerted nothing but positivity, leadership, and encouragement. And just like you and I were talking the other day, I suck at essays, so I'm definitely gonna need some coaching there to be able to, you know, write better essays and you know, possibly even write my own book one day too, because you inspire me. So thanks.
If I could just say like one last thing.
Rifle, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, I just want to say, you know, the way you and Nikki both battled through adversity to make sure this book comes out, it's really inspiring. You know, not just for me, but I'm sure everyone here, and definitely everyone who's going to read the book. You know, I wish it the best. It's already number one, so it can only get better from here. So yeah.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Beautiful. Before I hand over again, is there anything else from anyone else? Okay, I'm going to hand over to Judith now, who will be sharing a message from Nikki.
Okay, thank you so much, Debbie. Oh, I am so full right now of amazing feelings. There's so much beautiful energy here, and I'm almost tearful. Actually, I am tearful. You have brought to this book launch something so special. So thank you so much for being here to celebrate someone who is so special. Brian, this has been for you because you have gone through amazing things to get here. We could not be prouder of you. And I didn't think I was going to do that, but you are a unique individual. You have persevered through things that other people would have just thrown up and said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. You made it through. And now we are all here having the honor to celebrate you. So with that, if I can see the words, because I wasn't expecting to do this, I'd like to read from Nikki, who is, as most of you know, and I've got makeup going in my eyes now, who most of you know is Brian's fiance. So Nikki, thank you for your words, and hopefully I will do them justice if I can see them. So from Nikki, Brian is a very dedicated advocate for his students. Over the years, I've watched Brian go over and beyond for his students. Oh, goodness. He told me that he has to set difficult, challenging goals for himself to show his students that he shares in the hard work he often asks them to do. Oh, this is hard. He sees himself as a motivator and a model for them because oftentimes students are quite isolated in their academic journey, and Brian joins them and shares in their challenges. They face difficulties together, and that makes all the difference. As a result, his students find resilience in hardship and build self-esteem as they discovered their strengths. Brian pursued writing this book because he wanted to demonstrate to his students that no matter how hard or difficult your dream, you must pursue what you believe is true to your mission in life. And that is what makes the difference. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, I'm going to sign off right now. Congratulations, Brian. Thank you so much for this honor to be here and to be a part of this wonderful journey that you've been on.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, I can see why you got teary there, Judith, because, you know, just listening to all of you and knowing the journey that Brian has been on, and we interviewed him, so we got to find out the intimate details of some of the challenges he faced. And as publishers ourselves, we don't think anyone should have to go through that journey to experience what he has experienced. So just from his commitment, his dedication, the tenacity, and so much more, we offered Brian a grant to support him in completing this book. And that's why it means so much to us also. And that's probably why Judith got really teary, because the story itself is quite an emotional, tear-jerking one. So Brian, on that note, I'm going to hand over to you for a final word. So for you to address everyone that has spent their time with us today.
Thanks. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I feel extreme gratitude for all the support. You have all offered at Carnelian Moon. I mean, you're amazing. I've never worked with professionals like you before in my life. I mean, you literally took my project, which as a result of seemingly insurmountable obstacles was about ready for the dumpster, and you resuscitated it. You brought it to life, and you helped me within just 5 months from almost rewriting the whole thing again, getting it edited twice or a few times, and then putting the index, getting the ISBN, getting the cover design, and then making this incredible launch that we have today and packaged so beautifully that we just rival, I would think, some of the top advertising executives in the world. I mean, you made this happen for me, and I'm very grateful. And then I also want to express my gratitude for everyone taking time from their busy schedule to join me in celebrating this moment that I've been working on for the last 5 years. It means a lot. And one of the things I learned in one of the seminars that Nikki and I attended, it was called the Millionaire Mind Intensive, is that abundance and wealth is not simply a matter of receiving, but it's a matter of giving. It's about, in other words, in order for us to be truly rich in every area of our life, we have to not only be good at bringing in money and abundance, we have to be good at receiving it as well. And so my effort in writing this book was to give back to so many people who have given to me. And I just want to say that all of you have given something back to me as well, that you've helped keep me on track with my purpose in spite of the many challenges that I faced over the years. You gave, I feel, as much to me as I hope that I've given to you. And I learned because I studied like ancient scripts that this is a timeless principle throughout history, that giving is also because in the Hebrew language, for example, there's a word called vanachnu. That means and we should give, and it's a palindromic word. So if it's spelled backwards the same way as it is forward. Vanachnu means because philosophically the rabbinical scholars say that giving and receiving are the same. They need to be together in order for the process of abundance to continue in motion. And so I just wanted to end by saying that I thank everyone today for helping create a cycle of abundance in my life that I hope to continue to pass on to others.
Beautiful. That is just absolutely beautiful. And I have no words to follow that right now. So I think this is the perfect time to, first of all, if you do have a glass to raise, to join us in raising a glass, whether you've got water. This is apple juice. I promise. Raise the glass.
If we can open our mics.
Yeah.
And this is saying happy.
Love it.
Let me help in making everyone. You're all unmuted. Is everyone who would like to be unmuted unmuted? I think so.
I'm unmuted.
Okay.
Hey, good to see you, Randy.
Ready?
Good to see you, Alan.
Good.
So,
I thought I recognized Alan's voice.
Cheers.
Cheers. Congratulations, Bren.
Congrats,
So
Brian.
happy
Thank you.
for you.
Go, Brian.
cheers.
Congratulations.
Wow,
Cheers.
Debbie, you guys have some real
Cheers.
champagne, you know?
Congratulations, Brian. We are over the moon excited for you. Everyone, thank you for being here. This has been a rather intimate gathering. We expected it to be more, but our technology has not been happy with us today. So we have had an amazing experience with you all today, and we are so grateful for each and every one of you to have been here and shared in Brian's moments. It is truly an honor to support Brian in birthing his book, Demystifying College Admissions. So thank you, Brian, for being here, and thank you for everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well
I'm
done,
happy to be able to
Brian.
celebrate
Thank you.
with all of you.
Brian.
Yes.
Thank you.
All of you in
Thank you.
Sacramento can celebrate in person with you soon.
We will. We will.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, Randy.
everyone.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Hey, Lee,
Coming.
Alan, always a pleasure, Alan.
You guys stay safe.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Stay happy.
Brian,
Even
if
you,
can
Edwin.
stay.
You gotta smile more, Edwin.
Hey, I don't know what to do about that, man,
We're all very happy.
We're all
There we
happy.
go.